March 12th, 2016, Saturday of the fourth week of Lent.
A reading from the book of the prophet Jeremiah. I knew their plot because the Lord informed me. At that time, you, O Lord, showed me their doings. Yet I, like a trusting lamb led to slaughter, had not realized that they were hatching plots against me. Let us destroy the tree in its vigor. Let us cut him off from the land of the living, so that his name will be spoken no more. But you, O Lord of hosts, O just judge, searcher of mind and heart, let me witness the vengeance you take on them, for to you I have entrusted my cause. The word of the Lord.
The response is, O Lord, my God, in you I take refuge. O Lord, my God, in you I take refuge. Save me from all my pursuers and rescue me, lest I become like the lion's prey, to be torn to pieces with no one to rescue me. O Lord, my God, in you I take refuge. Do me justice, O Lord, because I am just, and because of the innocence that is mine. Let the malice of the wicked come to an end, but sustain the just. O searcher of heart and soul, O just God. O Lord, my God, in you I take refuge. A shield before me is God, who saves the upright of heart. A just judge is God, a God who punishes day by day. O Lord, my God, in you I take refuge.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Some in the crowd who heard these words of Jesus said, "This is truly the prophet." Others said, "This is the Christ." But others said, "The Christ will not come from Galilee, will he? Does not Scripture say that the Christ will be of David's family and come from Bethlehem, the village where David lived?" So a division occurred in the crowd because of him. Some of them even wanted to arrest him, but no one laid hands on him. So the guards went to the chief priests and Pharisees, who asked them, "Why did you not bring him?" The guards answered, "Never before has anyone spoken like this man." So the Pharisees answered them, "Have you also been deceived? Have any of the authorities or the Pharisees believed in him? But this crowd, which does not know the law, is accursed." Nicodemus, one of their members who had come to him earlier, said to them, "Does our law condemn a man before it first hears him and finds out what he is doing?" They answered and said to him, "You are not from Galilee also, are you? Look and see that no prophet arises from Galilee." Then each went to his own house. The Gospel of the Lord.
March 12th, Saturday of the fourth week of Lent. The first reading comes from Jeremiah 11:18-20. Yesterday we heard about how a plot is developing to arrest Jesus, to put him on trial. And today we continue to hear that idea of persecution. We first of all hear about it in the life of Jeremiah. The people are making plots against Jeremiah because he is pointing out to them their faults and they don't want to hear it. He's telling them that the disaster that's visiting Israel, the invasion of Babylon, is their own fault. And they don't want to accept that. So they say, "Let us destroy the tree in its vigor." Notice the image of tree. Jeremiah has said that the good person is like a tree planted by running water, that he would never be cut off from the living. And they're trying to destroy him, which is impossible, because God will protect him. What does Jeremiah pray? "Let me witness the vengeance you take on them." You claim you're a just God, then you have to prove that by punishing them. In another place, Jeremiah basically says, "God, I know you're patient, but don't be so patient that you give them the opportunity to kill me. And so please intervene." The Gospel is from John 7:40-53. Some people say that Jesus is the prophet or the Christ. Christ, remember, is the Greek version of the word Messiah, the anointed one. And others say no, the Messiah has to come from Bethlehem, and they think that Jesus came from Nazareth. Remember, they don't know where Jesus came from. It's not from Nazareth, and ultimately it's not even from Bethlehem. It's from the Father. They want to arrest Jesus, but no one can lay hands on him. Remember, Jesus has to fulfill the Father's will. Nothing will get in the way. When the guards come to give their report to the Pharisees and the chief priests and Pharisees say, "Why didn't you arrest him?" What is the answer of the guards? No one ever spoke like he did. And they berate them, saying, "Have any of the Pharisees gone over to believe in him?" And in fact, one of them has, Nicodemus. Remember how Nicodemus visited Jesus by night because he was afraid? Well, this is the second episode in which Nicodemus appears, and he half defends Jesus. He says, "Can we condemn him before we've tried him?" Technically, that's not really defending Jesus. It's defending the law, jurisprudence. But this shows a slight growth in the faith of Nicodemus. The first time he appears, he comes by night. He's afraid. Second time, he half defends Jesus. The third time will be in chapter 19 when he buries Jesus, using 100 pounds of myrrh and aloes. He puts his life on the line to bury a condemned prisoner. That shows that he has fully accepted the message of Jesus and the person of Jesus. He's embraced him with his faith. This shows that our faith life is not static. We can grow in faith if we only allow ourselves to. But there's one thing to remember in this. Very often our growth in faith does not look like a straight line. It looks like a sine curve where it goes up and down a bit. We should not measure our faith against what we were last week, because that's too close, and maybe we're on a downslide at this moment. Maybe we're sort of peaking and we're on a plateau. We should measure ourselves according to what we were a couple of years ago. Are we more patient? Are we more forgiving? Are we more loving? Is our prayer more sincere? That is a better measure of faith. And what we see here too is that even though the Pharisees think they're united in their opposition of Jesus, there are those men of true faith, of goodness, who recognize Jesus and ultimately will risk their life for him. And may God bless us.